There are some Android features I use so often that giving them up would be a real downgrade. So, here are 15 Android features I would seriously miss if I switched to an iPhone. First up, advanced multitasking. Android makes it really easy to run two apps together with split screen, use apps in floating windows, or quickly switch between apps while keeping your current tasks going. For example, I can have YouTube running while I'm browsing the web, or keep a calculator open over another app when I need it. And on Samsung, you can take this even further with things like edge panels and app pairs. It just makes the larger screen on these phones feel much more useful. Once you get used to that kind of multitasking, going back to a more restricted experience would definitely be noticeable. Number 2. The universal back gesture. This sounds like a tiny thing until you use it every day. On Android, I can swipe from either side of the screen to go back, and it works consistently across the system and all apps. It doesn't matter whether I'm holding the phone with my left hand or right hand, I just swipe from the edge and I'm back. Honestly, after years of using Android, having that universal back gesture is something I would really miss. Next, independent volume controls. Android gives you much more control over different types of audio. You can separately adjust things like media, ringtone, notifications, alarms, and system sounds. And on Samsung, you can take this even further with Sound Assistant, where you can get even more control over how different apps and audio sources behave. It sounds like a small feature, but you are a heavy user, that extra control is really useful. That's only 3 out of 15, and if you like what we do here every week, give us a thumbs up, and your support is much appreciated. Number 4 is clipboard history. With Android keyboards like Gboard and especially with Samsung keyboard, you can access things you copied recently instead of being limited to whatever you copied last. So if I copy a phone number, then a link, then some text, I don't have to keep going back and forth between apps just to copy them again. I can simply open the clipboard and grab what I need. Once this becomes part of your workflow, it's surprisingly hard to live without. Next is Advanced File Manager. Android basically lets you treat your phone much more like a small computer. You can browse through your internal storage, create folders, move and rename files, manage download, access different file types, and connect external storage. And Samsung's My Files app gives you even more control over how everything is organized. If you are constantly downloading files, moving documents around, this is a huge advantage. And that brings me to number 6, side loading apps. This is a big one for Android power users. Android gives you the ability to install apps from outside the Play Store, as long as you enable the appropriate security settings and trust the source. That means you are not completely dependent on one app store. There are legitimate reasons to do this, like testing an app that isn't available in your region, installing an open source app, or trying a newer version directly from a developer. Obviously, you need to be careful with what you install, because getting apps from unknown sources can create security risks. But having that choice in the first place is something I would definitely miss. Number 7 is default app freedom. Android gives you much more freedom to decide which apps handle different types of actions. Want a different browser? You can set it as your default. Want a different phone or messaging app? Depending on the Android version and manufacturer, you have options for that too. It's basically the difference between saying, "This is the app I prefer," and the operating system saying, "No, we are going to use this one." And I definitely prefer having the choice. Why just stopping at changing the default app when you can set a separate launcher? This is another thing that makes Android feel like your phone, because you can replace the default launcher with something completely different. You can change how your home screen works, how the app drawer behaves, how icon arrange, and even turn your phone into something that looks and feels completely different. And if you're someone who enjoys customizing your phone, Android gives you a ridiculous amount of freedom here. Which brings us to one of my favorite parts of Android: interactive home screen widgets. Android widgets aren't just little information boxes. You can have widgets that let you control smart home devices, change settings, check tasks, see information, and actually interact with things without opening the full app. And because Android gives developers a lot of freedom with widgets, there are lots of creative implementations out there. Because of that, your home screen can basically become a control center instead of just a collection of app icons. Number 10. Good Lock. And if you're a Samsung user, you already know this right here. Good Lock is basically Samsung's customization toolbox. You can customize the lock screen, notification panel, navigation, keyboard, home screen, multitasking, and so much more. If you're not a Samsung user, you can unlock hidden features in Android from apps like Essentials and Droid Lab. Technically, you have so much freedom in Android. Next up, USB-C flexibility. Newest iPhones also have USB-C, so I'm not talking about simply having the same connector. I'm talking about what Android phones can actually do with that port. You can connect USB drives, external storage, accessories, controllers, keyboards, displays, and a whole bunch of other devices. And depending on the phone, you can use the USB-C port for things that make the phone feel much closer to a computer. That's where things get really interesting, because number 12 is external display support. And if you are using a Samsung Galaxy, this basically means DeX. Connect your phone to a compatible display and suddenly your phone can give you a desktop style interface with multiple windows, a taskbar, keyboard and mouse support, and much more. So your phone can literally become your lightweight computer when you need it. The iPhone can connect to external displays too, but the Android and Samsung approach gives you much more of that actual desktop style experience. Number 13 is multi-user profiles. This one isn't something everyone needs, but when you do need it, it's incredibly useful. Android can support multiple user profiles on compatible devices, meaning different people can have their own apps, settings, and data without everything being mixed together. It's especially useful on tablets or shared devices. For Samsung phone users, you have a secure folder, which acts similar to these multi-user profiles because you get a separate set of apps in here. Number 14 is charging flexibility. Now, iPhones obviously have wireless charging, so this isn't about Android having wireless charging and iPhone not having it. It's more about the overall flexibility you get across Android phones. Depending on the device, you can have wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, and different ways of powering accessories. For example, on compatible Samsung phones, wireless power share lets you use the back of your phone to charge supported accessories. And finally, the one that I think is going to become even more important over time. Number 15. AI in your operating system. AI on Android isn't just about opening a chatbot and asking it questions anymore. On modern Android phones, especially Samsung Galaxy devices, AI can be integrated directly into things like calls, messaging, writing, image editing, search, and other parts of the system. And that's what makes it interesting. The AI isn't always something you have to go looking for. It can become part of the actual way you use your phone. And as these features continue to develop, I think this is going to become one of the biggest differences between Android and iOS. So those are 15 Android features I would seriously miss if I switch to an iPhone. Most of these features aren't necessarily the reason you buy an Android phone in the first place. But once you get used to having that much freedom and control over your phone, going back can be surprisingly difficult. So if you want to follow us for more tech stuff, subscribe to the channel so you can catch up as soon as we make them. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.